Ginger Beard, how are you this evening? first, what do you call? What would you be called? You wouldn't be a guest. First mate, my first mate, Ginger Beard. What's up, RJ Ruiz? DB McBolin, what's up, MJ? Colleen, how are ya? How are ya? Andres? Sean, how are you tonight? Caden, Troy, Southern Charmer, Kane, RH, Scott Lee, what it is, Wendy, Sandy Williams. What's up, Doug Osborne? Zachary, how are you? Hey, Joe. Andy Davis, how are you? How's your wife? Hope she's doing better. RV, what's going on? Nicholas Carroll, how are you tonight? Donnie Combs. I hear you, MJ. I hear you. Puma Pete, how are you? I to be honest with you, I almost pulled out of the live tonight just because we had to put my dad in the palliative or whatever care. Me and my mom had to make that decision tonight, or not tonight, this morning. And it's rough. It's rough. No Southern Charmer. Haven't seen her. Thanks, Ginger. Thank you, Doug. Well, it was weird because like the lady was talking to us and I'm standing there and she says palliative care. And in my head, you know, like you hear the word hospice and, you know, but I'm like, wait a second, why do I know that word, palliative care? And I'm like, my mom's kind of like, you know, shutting down at that time. And I'm like fucking just brain dead. So, and it's weird because he was cognitive last week and then everything just went to shit. Like everything. Loss of bodily functions, just I don't even know. But happy Easter to everybody. Happy Easter. You know, I started saying that the couple days ago when I realized, hey, I think it was on Good Friday. And you know what's crazy is how much our world has changed from 20 years ago. Like, I remember when you heard Happy Easter all the time, you know, like Merry Christmas, Happy Easter. You know, it was just like the polite, respectful thing to do. And a couple of times I said it to people and they kind of like, whoa, they got a little scared because they didn't know what I said. They're just like, wait a second, what? Like, respect and kindness was out the window, you know? So weird. Yeah. Go Phillies. Oh, Jesus. I think the Dodgers are winning, aren't they? I know they're playing tonight. I thought they were playing. Oh. 5-3. Fuck me. Dodgers are losing. I can't do that. Yeah, I hope so, Dennis. I hope so. And, you know, I appreciate that. I really do hope so. What's going on, Dave? Charlie? Sig, how are you? Yeah, he's not doing either of bodily functions or motor functions right now. So it's whew, it's crazy. Yeah, this guy's been holding on for 4 months. This has been an ongoing thing for 4 months, but he's never been this bad. When he got back up here, he's only like 6 blocks that way. They weighed him, and he weighed 112 pounds. And when I got diagnosed with my illness, I weighed 100 and I think it was like 113, 114 pounds when I was really sick, my sickest. And now look at me. I'm on a diet. Like I look like a little fat chode monkey. Rockin' steady. Thank you. Thank you for reaching out too. Appreciate that, brother. Yeah, Maine Coon cats are cool until they puke in your bedroom when you get out of the shower and you step in it like I just did. Zach, I don't know yet. I find out Monday. I gotta get some laps done Monday. Yeah, it was lovely stepping in it. And I'm like, bro, you're the one that begs for the treats. You're the one that, like, the second he hears me go into the kitchen, his fat ass jumps right off that couch. You hear it. It's like a horse galloping. Thank you, Frank. Hey, Liz, how are you? You guys getting excited about the eclipse coming up? I mean, we're 8 days away, technically. No, 9 days technically away, but I'm very excited, very excited. Cannot wait. I saw a video and I just want to clarify. And okay, so there is like a point of going down a rabbit hole. All right. And really looking at things in a broad spectrum. But like then there's a point to where they're telling you why they're saying stay home, stock up, and people are making like a big deal out of something that whole point of people stocking up is because in the locations where it is going to be total eclipse, they expect the hotels and motels around me are already sold out. Lake George is already sold out for people to witness it. And that's what they mean. And people are like, "Did something bad is going to happen? And I just know it. I can see it. I see it. I dreamt about it. And I swear to God, my pet rock has told me so." And it's just so weird because like they're telling you why in the same article. Please stock up on water, milk, this and that. Because why? Well, because people that don't live in your area are going to come and intrude on your grocery store. Fuck, man. You know what? If something does happen, that sucks. But are we really going to? I mean, if something bad happens, are we really going to care about how much fucking milk we have and water and ramen and cat litter and toilet paper? No, no. The moon is going to come and crash into the earth and we're fucked. I'm just kidding. Oh, Lord. Can you imagine that, though? Yes, John, I did get that lot lizard story, but I cannot put it on the live tonight. That is far too, just way too graphic. Interesting, though. Audrey, I will be concerned about the cat litter. The gifting rock told me. The sharing stone. Yeah, I mean, like, if honestly anything ever happens, I just hope it goes quick. Because, like, I mean, if there's something bad that's going to go down and my daughter's looking at me like, scared, that's going to be the worst part of the whole, like, apocalypse is when, like, both of them look at me and, like, Daddy, what are we going to do? And I'm like, well, we're going to starve to death, little one. I'm going to have to suffocate you now. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, I'm not. Just kidding. What's up, Michael? How are you? Yeah, I just want it to go fast. Was there some kind of weird shit over here just a second ago? Yeah, people are, I saw a video and the guy was like, what really is going to happen in the eclipse? Why are they warning us? And I'm just like, dude, you really are stretched. You are reaching for views. You are like creating something that is not there. Jane will probably be here tonight. Let me text Jane. Let's get Jane aboard. What's up, Captain Ron? How are you tonight? Let's get Janie. Where is it? There we go. There's Jane. Jane. Jane, wake up. Everyone needs you. We're lost without you. Wake up! There. She'll wake up. So I got some good experiences for us tonight. I got a stack, and I've got ranging from black-eyed kids to Bigfoot, Dogman, some flying cryptids, some crawlers, some just really kind of creepy. Oh, I got a mermaid one. I got a mermaid experience. Nicola, how are you? I got a mermaid experience for us tonight. So yeah, what's up, 86 buckets? Yeah, Derek Crowley. What's up, Steve-O's Outdoor Channel? Oh shit, mermaid. Mermaid. A siren? No, a mermaid. You say tomato, I say tomato, but mermaid. It's my channel. Don't correct me. I'm just kidding, Southern Charmer. Oh, it's getting a little warm in here. $20 is $20. Oh, dirty piggies. All right. Got that out of the fucking system. So I think we'll start. Janie still hasn't woken up. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to fucking call her and hang up right when she answers. Here we go. Hang on. Come on, Janie. Oh, here's Tigger. What's up, scumbag? Oh, she's not going to answer. $20 is $20. There we go. Janie she saw that I called. It was like I knocked on her door and ran away. Tigger, get away from my window. Go away. I want my $20 is $20 shirt. I can't wait until it's summer so I can wear my freaking pink tank top. All right, let's start this night off with a very scary experience. 164 people are here and only 59 likes. That's even scarier than this encounter. Holy moly. Just kidding. What's up, Firehorse? This occurred September of 2022 in Wood Creek Reserve neighborhood in Katy. It was approximately 11:30 p.m. I saw this girl standing by the road. She looked like she may have been a preteen. I pulled over because I thought she may need help. She was just standing there, and I thought, that's kind of weird that a kid would be standing by the side of the road at this time of the night. So I pulled over to see if she needed any help. The first thing I did was I called it in. When I looked up, she had moved, and now she was in front of my patrol car, standing in the headlights. She was looking at me. She didn't seem afraid or worried, and I thought, well, that's weird, so I told dispatch. I went to get out of the car, and just as I was starting to open the door, I saw her eyes. At that point, I did not want to get out of the car. I realized that her eyes were totally black. I mean, completely black. She must have seen that I realized that because she started to approach the car. It took everything I could do not to drive away at that point. I mean, hey, I'm a police officer. It's my job, but this was visceral. I can't describe it, but all of my training had gone out the window. Everything in me just wanted to get the hell away from that little girl, but I stayed. I rolled down my window as she approached me and I asked where she lived, and she mumbled something. I leaned forward, and then she suddenly attacked me. This ungodly voice was then coming out of her. I had no idea how a human could make that voice, but I was trying to push her off of me. She was trying to pull me out of my patrol car. I'm screaming at her to tell her to get off me, get off me. And then she said something. I can't get those words out of my mind. She said, "We're going to die tonight." Why would she say that to me? I struggled to break her grip, and then I heard a loud crack. Then she went limp, falling into the road. I thought that she may be seriously hurt. I quickly got out of the car to see if she was okay. Suddenly, she stood up like nothing had happened and ran away into the dark of the night. I could hear her laughing. She was not human, I'm telling you. When I got back to the station, I told my supervisor what happened. He told me to ignore it, not to write up an incident report. I still patrol that same area. I believe that she's still out there somewhere roaming the night. This child was definitely not a human. Janie, how are ya? Jessica, how are you? 5 rings. What's up, brother? Luke Thompson. Hi, Chrissy. How are you? What is a mimic? Lynn Davis. A mimic is something that, yeah, Douglas, it was a black-eyed kid. Yep. A mimic is something that, like, when you're in the woods and you hear like a noise and you kind of like hello and you hear it mimic you back. That's kind of like a mimic. That's what a mimic is. And the greatness of Hollywood and Reddit and all of that have told us that it's skinwalkers and this and that. When there's probably a few. I know one girl that's Navajo here. They don't mimic people per Navajo lore. No breaking news on the little boy. Thank you, Samurai Sean. And I have, if you see Brett out here tonight, he said he might stop in. in the live. He lives in that area. He's the one that notified me about it because he had gotten something over his scanner. So his brother's wife is a teacher, and she's going to look into some things. But on that road, there is really nothing that would be big enough to do the damage to that little boy that had, and it just had Cordy Godsey vibes all through it, you know. Robert Sharp, sounds like a plan to me, my friend. Sender, what's up, Stormy Light? How are you? No, he's in palliative care right now, Janie. If my dad passed away today, I wouldn't even be doing a live stream. I'm not going to read it tonight, Robert. I'll read it next Saturday. So take your time on it. I got everything lined up and planned for the night. Thank you, Liz. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Liz. You know how much I appreciate that coming from you. You know what's the worst thing is I got in the shower right before the live. I brushed my teeth, and then I made a cup of coffee, and I drank my coffee black. And it gets like the worst fucking, like, it almost makes your mouth taste like shit. Purposely. I think they do it purposely to us. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. I really do. Yeah, Steve-O, I just talked about the eclipse probably 5 minutes ago. Looking forward to it. Yeah, Rockin' Steady, it is like watching a Dodgers game, especially since we're losing. Probably pretty bad right now. No, I bet you were not. I bet you were like, let's see. 5-4. 5-4. We're only a point behind. Bottom of the ninth. We're going to lose. We're going to lose. Okay. One more encounter, and then we'll get to the mermaid encounter. Caden's favorite subject, mermaids. I've seen videos of Caden. Caden takes these videos down periodically. He'll post them, but Caden has a mermaid costume that he dresses up in and pretends to swim through his house. It's the most interesting video I've ever seen in my life. Caden, make another video, please. Did he? Come on. Get the. Okay. I encountered a reptilian hybrid several years ago while attending college in Oregon. This individual is extremely manipulative with words and dangerous with deeds. Once I told him that he was a cold-blooded bastard after he humiliated a friend. He became very angry, staring at me with a hideous glare. He said that I would suffer for my disrespect. You will suffer for your disrespect. That night, while studying in my dorm room, I was alarmed by a shadowy figure starting to manifest. I'm sensitive to energy, so I immediately started to raise the vibration in the room. Oh, shit. Okay. It quickly dissipated. That startled me, so I'm on full alert. Later that night, at approximately 2 a.m, I awoke from what I thought was a dream, but alarmed by a grotesque reptilian form atop of my body attempting to choke me. It screeched and wailed like it was taking great delight in my fear and pain. I'm struggling and finally threw this thing off of me. As it cowered on the floor, glaring at me, I immediately knew it was the individual I had insulted earlier. It thrust itself at me. I reached for my pants on my desk chair to retrieve my pocket knife. It was choking me as I pulled the weapon from my pant pocket and toiled to open it. I was able to push it off long enough to slash it across the left arm and upper chest. With a howl of rage, it ran to the wall and disappeared through it. I turned the light on to fully illuminate the room and noticed blood on the knife, bed sheets, and floor. I checked myself to make sure that it was not my blood. I was awake the rest of the night and ready to strike if needed to defend myself. I was exhausted in the morning, but made my way to class. I noticed the individual coming out of his dorm room. He had a bandage on his left arm in the same spot that I had cut that reptilian creature the night before. He noticed me and walked directly to me, nose to nose. He glared at me with those evil reptilian eyes. "Watch your back. This is not over," he murmured. I walked past him, made my way to class. Later that day, the dorm staff and housing administrations wanted to talk to me. While I talked to one of the dorm staff regarding this individual, the administrator blurted out, "Do not provoke him. It's important that you do not cause trouble for him." The dorm staff was obviously terrified of this guy and behaved like it was his minions. This was startling. That same night, I felt weary of his presence watching me. That sense of dread continued weeks after until I moved off the campus to avoid the hostile environment. However, I often noticed him and his acquaintance blatantly watching me while I was on campus and in town. I know that I was not the only person affected by this guy, but no one ever dared discuss it. Many things happened during this time, including a sudden death of 2 students in that same dorm. No details of those deaths were disclosed, just that they died because of medical reasons. I know others are out there who are aware of these reptilians, and that there are ways that humanity can defend themselves against them. I have been fortunate to meet several people who safeguard themselves and their family. These terrible beings are the scourge that we will continue to be confronted by. All right. The best way to take one of these little cryptid things is to just like RKO it and then like say, "Go away." Is there such a thing as a large black coyote? Chrissy, how large? Larry Lindman, thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. You know I do. I hope you're doing well. Lily Lewis, thank you. Smile, it makes your butt tickle. Thank you, Lily. Elon's firing a rocket tonight? That's cool. I was just listening to Elon's brother's podcast. Well, he was getting interviewed by Lex Friedman. Depending on the size of the coyote, I would say no. I mean, if it's bigger than 100 pounds, it's not a coyote. But other than that, you know. I definitely will. I'll call you Wednesday, my friend. What's up, Steph? How are you? Yeah, Elon's okay. Elon's awesome. I love Elon. Yeah, or a coy wolf, Andy Davis, something like that. Got to check the score really quick. 5-5, 5-5. Bottom of the ninth, 5-5, 5-5. Charlie Knight's on it. Dude, I swear to God, if we win tonight, I will make out with Lizzo. Oh, I'm sorry about your dad, Steph. I'm glad that you're here with us, my friend. Yeah, Lizzo would definitely eat me. She would eat me butt first. Lizzo the lot lizard. RH, you got, we think the same. Oh, I bet you it didn't go into her mouth. I would need this. I would need this. So I'd be like this with Lizzo. I'd hold this so I wouldn't fall in. I'd put this right on her ass cheeks. And then I'd be like, Lizzo, $20 is $20. Oh, baby. Scott Baker, not a dog man. Judging from what William has said and like what other people have said about werewolves, more than likely a werewolf, not a dog man. What's up, Dave? No Cat Bussin', how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. 2 miles from the bridge that collapsed in Baltimore, Derek? Or a different bridge? I wonder if how many people I wonder if there had been any kind of sightings of the Mothman um, in that area prior to that bridge collapsing. What's up, Sherry Strong? How are you? Yeah, I don't think that bridge should have came down because that was what it was like one of those, not a suspension bridge, but yeah, kind of like a suspension bridge, right? No, I think it was just like shh, don't, Larry. I think it was that quiet thing was just like, hey, shh, shut up, like don't. Almost like if you do say something, um, don't say anything. What's up, James? How are you, my brother? Happy Easter to Dark Waters. I love you, my friend. There was explosives involved. I don't know. I've not watched any videos. It was planned. I didn't read that. That's interesting. Huh. What's up, Stephen McCrae Jr.? How are you, my friend? California, what's going on? How are you? Happy Easter, guys. Doug Osborne. I haven't seen that movie yet. I'm into like conspiracies and stuff, so I'll probably check it out. Yeah, I don't know if it was a controlled explosion. Was there any deaths on the bridge explosion in Baltimore? Six workers presumed dead after cargo. It was a cargo ship that crashed into like one of the pillars. But I don't think that would be. I don't know. That'd be a lot of, yeah, maybe. I mean, that's a lot of force from one of those cargo ships. So yeah, I just read the 6 people died. I read it. I think there's like a lag in time or something. I don't know. In the channel. I don't know. Definitely a weird thing. It was a main pillar. The thing is why did they hit, like that's strange for it to go into the pillar itself, like, come on, guys, horrible ship safety wreck. See, I didn't look into it. I just knew that it had happened, and such. It looked deliberate. Good night, Tyler Steven. Have a good night. David, how are you? He's been gone for a long time, David. He's passed away. I'm still here. So anyway, needless to say, whether it was human error or whatever, I wonder if there had been any sightings of the Mothman. Makes sense if there was. Well, gravity, Baltimore, that part of Baltimore is a major hub for international cargo and such. So it does make sense that a cargo ship would be there. Well, thank you, Kevin, for bringing up that wonderful topic. Pearl Green, how are you? Micro Dork. Rockin' steady. Oh, yeah, baby. I hope we don't have an EMP attack, Steven. That's something nobody should ever. God dang, no. All right. But this is something everybody should experience, is a mermaid attack or a mermaid experience, and not the one with Caden dressed in his mermaid costume running around his house pretending to swim. And I'm just kidding, Caden. I love you to pieces. I need to get this out. I grew up surfing in Southern California. In the summer of 1991, my friend and I were in the water for 30 minutes. He told me something had touched him, and he felt sick. He went back to the beach. 2 days later, the doctor told him that he had sickle cell anemia. Okay, last time we really talked about it, we were 15 years old, but I still remember he said, I touched something. 6 years later, I was in the water, and I felt something weird about that whole day. And then it happened. The pain started with the slightest touch on the side of my forearm, so bad my hearing and sight were interconnecting, and started with a confusion beyond control. All of a sudden, a change in my body began. Cold, freezing muscles and nerves from my toes up to my legs to my lower back. The pain worsened in hallucinations of an iceberg, bales of hay, pine trees, and even little action figures that seemed so real it almost was like trying to be a hero. Then the creature touched beneath me, almost seemingly to say, this is my planet, and just swam, teasing below me. A voice with a message. We are thousands of years old. It rang through all this, almost hypnotic-like, with no remorse. I then got a vision of a female mermaid-like creature. Just take it, I said to myself. Nothing even close to this has ever happened to you. The speed at which this was happening was unbelievably fast and precise. I thought of fainting or dying, which seemed possible, but I could still move and swim, which made it feel like it was a test of will. Then a sudden change of my brain and spine felt as it was totally, completely connected and moving together. All of a sudden, I felt it, what I thought was causing all this trauma. First, it spun a web between my spine and skin on the lower back as I tried to stretch out. It started another above, but slower with different pattern and almost felt like it was protecting me from the first one. This put me into an almost hypnotic state as I felt it crawl up into my neck, into the front right side of my brain. It wiggled its legs and body, then turned to the right. The only thing I could think at this point was, if I am crazy, I might kill myself. All this was within 15 minutes. Then my stomach began to feel numb and cold with my intestines. My right hip socket and femur started to act up. I could feel the whole thing precisely as it was evolving. 3 little squares made an appearance to me, each like a growth and exact make of my femur, the 3 squares attached to my hip socket. This caused another hallucination. A doll action figure that had cloth clothing and detachable limbs. All are still within 30-minute time limit. It stopped, and I finally got out of the water. I later learned that the clothed action figure was over 200 miles away, as if the whole experience was that large and planned out. When I thought it was over or fading away, it told me differently. This is as real as it gets. It happened many years ago. I'm reliving it, and I am slowly becoming normal again. I have not contacted anyone because of my hypnotic state. I believe that I was touched and communicated by a mermaid and possibly telling me that they could turn me into a mermaid. Okay. I think we need to ask that person if they took a dose of LSD before they went into the water. What's up, Jody Bateman? How are you? Yeah, no cat busting. I've been touched. I don't like swimming. I like swimming in pools, but I don't like water that has animals in it. I remember one time I went into the ocean and I'm walking out and I get to my knees and that's pretty deep. And I'm like, yay, and I'm splashing around. And I go out a little further and I get to chest level, right? And I kind of let myself float for a minute. And I felt something hit my legs. And it felt large. It felt good sized. Needless to say, I turned around and went back to shore because it was close to New Smyrna in Florida. And that's where sharks are. And nope. Alan Howell, I don't know what you're talking about. I'll have to look into that really quick, my friend. Oh, there goes my phone. Oh, cracked screen. Nice. I just caught a 5-foot bull shark. Oh. We should never be in the ocean. I can be underwater, under the ocean, but not on top. When swimming in. Jay Cortez, I was just reading your goddamn thing and you deleted it. Oh, okay. Okay, Simeone, I know what you mean. Yeah, he's just riding the whatever. No, I have not heard a second bridge. Holy cow. Like, dude, there's shit in the ocean that just, Ricardo, how are you? That make no sense, and we should never, ever fucking know. Like, I believe that the megalodon still exists, first of all. Second of all, the Humboldt squid is a fucking killer. Like, you go swimming and you see a Humboldt squid, you better get the fuck out of the ocean quick because that thing will grab you and take you underwater. No, like, plus they're smart. They're smart. I believe that squid, and I'm going to ask you guys this question. I truly believe that squid are aliens. I made a video about it and I did like a comparison of their intelligence, of, their movement and this and that. And there has been scientists that have discussed it. There's like old, like fossilized whatever something, and I don't remember offhand because I'm going quick right now, but like I truly believe that squid are some sort of alien life form. Like, they're fucking, even if it came from a meteor and it hit the ocean and like they just flew off like sperm and just fucking got big and just started swimming away. Nah. The Great Lakes? Oh shit, yeah, there's some big shit in the Great Lakes. Who made jellyfish? I don't know. Welch's? Just kidding. But what's the Great Lake that borders or that butts up against Chicago? I mean, that looks like a fucking ocean. So maybe there's like, I think possibly there's like these connection things underwater. The alligator gar. I have an alligator gar skull downstairs in my studio down there. Kakalina, how are you tonight? Lake Michigan, the Michigan. Yeah, I just wouldn't swim in any kind of Lake George. I don't even go like going in there. Meteor jizz. Daytona Beach is a nice beach, though. I heard. I lived just north of Daytona, in Flagler, and I hated it there. Ugh. Light Ray 95, how are you? Flagler does suck, no cat bussin'. I lived in the B section. Dude, I've never seen... Okay, there's this place in Florida called Flagler. And if you ever go to Florida, just avoid Flagler. There are people that live there that, like... you meet people and they're like, I live in the A section. I live in the B section. And the sections... So, like, let's say you live on Midnight Street. That's the M section. That's how original these people are. And they're fucking weird. They're all fucking weird. None of them are from Florida. I don't even think half of them are human. Bill, you need my email address? I'll put it out for you. I didn't see you asked for it, but I'll put it out. My email address is in the description below in all of my videos. Okay, it is, my email is right under Jessica and right above No Cap Bussin. Casey Albright, be safe. What's up, GG? How are you? Firehorse, that means you've got to keep trying, to be honest with you. I don't know why it does that, but it does it periodically for some reason. But I wouldn't go near the LBL at all. Why? The LBL is just another piece of woods. It's not that scary. No, John, good question. Did you guys like that upload? Thank you, John, for bringing that up. Dino, I agree. It can be scary, but really quick, just overcome your fear and you'd realize, hey, maybe it's not that bad, honestly. Alan Howell, Liz, thank you so much. Thank you. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. The LBL just has a name. 86 buckets. No, I don't, brother. Probably a K-bar or I know it was a fixed blade. Maybe a K-bar. I don't know. I would just find like a really good. You know who makes a really good blade is IPAK, IPAK, IPAK knives. I fucking love them. Wexford County. I would be less likely to go to Wexford than LBL, but I'd go to either. Yeah, late right. Here's the thing is people make videos going out there all the time, and they create videos going out there all the time. You know what I mean? Like it's honestly not that bad. I agree with like what Victor used to say is the woods were meant to be enjoyed. If we go out with fear in our hearts, then these things are going to sense it. Don't go in walking like you're big and bad thinking it's yours because it's not, but go in respectfully. And I think, I'm more afraid of when I go out to where Tom Mezek disappeared, I'm more afraid of running into a mountain lion or a bear than a dogman or a Bigfoot, to be quite honest with you. Last night, honestly, the Everglades. Yeah, the Everglades. There's some. I would love to go on an airboat, get an airboat, and go into the swamp. Ooh, that would be so good. I would be scared, you know what I mean? But I think it'd be fun. We can't ignore danger. We must conquer it. Yeah, Johnny. Jessica, the woods are great. I feel like a portal would be more likely. Yeah, Lily. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and Sherry Strong calling him Puma Pete. Yeah, I think riding an airboat would be fun. Hey, Juno, how are you? So anyway, back to the question. Did you guys like the upload that I did the other day where I had something totally planned? Like I had a stack of encounters right next to me, but then I went in and I started talking about Roanoke and I fucking deep dived it. And I don't know, for some reason, I really liked doing that upload because it was like just it felt so natural. It was like, hey, let's ideas just kept coming, and I'm like, and like sharing them with you guys. I like doing that. I had a lot of fun doing that one. Thanks, Light Ray. Thank you, Lily. I just liked it because it was like, okay, I actually discovered shit that I didn't know. And I'm like, wait, what? And like, I've looked into Roanoke before, but not like I didn't look up keywords. And I think that's what a lot of things like we fail to find information because we don't type in the keywords. Like, I don't know, maybe we should just start typing in like fucking Bigfoot, werewolf to everything. You want me to do it again, RH? This will be the third time. $20. It's $20. Oh, oh yeah. There you go, RH. This is an interesting one. In 1970, my mom and I saw a bird that followed the car up a mountain road near Maysville, West Virginia. We only saw the tail and the underside of this animal. Its wings were almost as wide as the road. This animal repeatedly flew over the hood of the car as we drove. It did not have a feathered tail. Its tail looked long and coiled. It was dark in color. When we witnessed this, I told my mother that it looked like a prehistoric bird. This animal has much larger than a turkey buzzard, owl, eagle hawk, or any other kind of bird of prey we have out here. It had a broad, heavy body. In fact, it looked so large that it had trouble getting airborne, and it used the path of the road to get into the air. This creature looked large enough to easily take down a deer-sized animal. I cannot say that it had any humanoid features, but this was something that we both, myself and my mom, still remember. I have to believe that other people have witnessed this. This is a true experience for obvious reasons. I can see that people blow it off as untrue, but I know another person in Maysville, West Virginia, who has described something similar. He explained to me he didn't know what it was, but it was huge, almost highway wide. Possibly the Snellygaster. Light Ray, have a good night. Thank you for joining us. Sanhoff, is she here? Hey, there she is. Hey, Sanhoff, how are you? Alec Bikesham, how are you? Claim your destiny. Mr. Anderson. So the Snellygaster is a cryptid that they used to talk about like back in the day. I'll share it with you guys right now. Hang on. Snellygaster. Okay, so the Snellygaster is, and it looks identical to what they described. The Snellygaster was rumored to swoop silently from the sky and pick up and carry off its victims. The earliest stories claim that that this monster sucked the blood from its victims. This is in the Webster's Dictionary. Right here. Let me see. Snellygaster. Okay, so in American folklore, the snellygaster is a bird-reptile chimera originating in superstitions of early German immigrants, later combined with sensationalistic newspaper reports of the monster. Early sightings are associate the snellygaster with Frederick County, Maryland, especially the areas of South Mountain and Middletown Valley. Later reports would expand on the sightings through central Maryland to Washington, D.C. People were talking about the snellygaster in the 1700s. All the way up till now. So, I mean, in the way they explained it, the way they explained its tail and its how big it was. Well, no cap. It's here. I'm going to spell it out for you guys. Boston got beat. Good. Fucking hate Boston. What's my team doing? Oh, God. We just lost 6-5. Fuck me. All right. So snellygaster is spelled like this, guys. If you guys want to look it up, it's right there. But, you know, I think my team is 3-2 now, so we're not doing too bad. This is an interesting one. This incident took place at Lake Como, Pennsylvania, February 6, 1976 at 11:30 p.m. Report. This is an actual police report thing. Report. Mrs. MJ and her cousin CW were returning home by the lake road when they stopped to watch shooting stars. When they reached their home, they were missing about 3 hours. The next morning, MJ had a sore stomach and a very inflamed navel. CW had a small puncture mark on her spine with 4 little marks around it. Under regressive hypnosis, MJ remembered that 4 short strangers in black suits with helmets over their head had approached their car while hovering over a field. Was a helmet-shaped object 30 to 40 feet in diameter, with a big white light in the middle and little lights recessed around it. She found herself out of her car, and the beings came up and pulled her arm. Then she remembered sitting on a cot inside a room with a rounded door, where there was a chrome cylinder. A nurse wearing a face mask with big black eyes, accompanied by a doctor, brought up a needle. MJ jumped off the cot, but was caught and fastened to it, and the needle was inserted into her stomach. Then several people with grayish white cat-like faces wearing cream-colored robes appeared. They had scaly skin, long fingernails, small noses, no visible mouth. She also noticed the whole mess of controls and gauges up on the ceiling. The craft was in flight at this time. She could see a man of normal type bending over CW. She was also observed a pedestal chair and a box with lines going across it, on which, as a TV, she saw a baby crying, a war, people in the jungle with knives, and other scenes for 10 minutes. Then she remembered leaving the craft and returning with CW to her car. Sherry, are you one of those cat-faced people? Everyone stay away from Sherry. Oh, Ricardo, good for you. Thank you, my friend, for welcoming people. Dude from Texas, what's going on? How are you, my friend? I haven't seen you. Sorry. Did they get a booster later? More than likely, I tell you what. Yes, Sandhoff, definitely a classic abduction. Firehorse, thanks for the correction, but I don't need it, so I call her Sherry. Matt Mason, what started you? I was only kidding, Firehorse. Happy Easter. Matt Mason, what prompted you to start the channel? I had my own experience in 1994. I've been researching cryptids and the paranormal, along with occult stuff, since that time and a little before. I got diagnosed with a terminal illness right before I started the channel. I have a rare blood disorder, and I started the channel. Never thought it would end up to being anything, and here we are, 7 years later. Did you tell your parents, Sandhoff, about what? My experience? Yes. They didn't believe me then, but my mom and dad means now, or believe me now. Yeah, I told them back then, but they honestly thought that I was just fucked up. I personally, maybe in Iowa, but I have not. I don't know. I don't remember. Probably, more than likely. Thank you, the traveler. All right, dude from Texas wants me to share my experience, so I'm going to share it really quick. I'm going to share it quick. What do you think of the eclipse? I think it's a total eclipse that's going to go over where I live. I'm going to get a total eclipse because I live in the Adirondacks. I don't think anything's bad's going to happen except a bunch of tourists that are going to drink my fucking milk from the grocery store. Just kidding. But anyway, so 1994, myself, my friend Martin, my friend Gabe, and my girlfriend and Martin's girlfriend were all hanging out. Me, Martin, and the girls are younger than 18, so we can't drive. Gabe is over 18, so he can drive. In New York, you can't drive after 9 under 18. So we get to this little cul-de-sac, kind of like a U shape in the woods off of Route 9, in between Saratoga Springs and Glens Falls, New York. We park and we're hanging out. We're listening to one of my favorite bands in the world, the best New York City hardcore band ever, Biohazard. And just hanging out, literally, like not drinking, not smoking weed, smoking ciggies, just hanging out, being kids. There's this like kind of screeching loud noise. The girls immediately run in the car screaming vampire. No idea why. We see eye shine. Martin and I are outside of the car still. Gabe is in the car and has been for a while. That's a key thing to remember. We see these eye shines coming through the woods. Now, the woods are thick because when they carved out this U shape, they just, on top of, and the yards for the houses, they pushed a lot of brush and shit into the woods. So it'd be very hard to move through. Well, whatever is out there at the time, we didn't know. We see eye shine coming quickly, and these screeching growl howl sounds that I can't explain. Martin, in his beautiful Czechoslovakian accent, Jeff, get in the fucking car, bitch. So I get in the car, because I'm outside of the car, like not brave at all, because I was literally a coward when I was younger. Standing like, what the hell is going on? So we get in the car and we take off. Well, we get to the stop sign and we are going to turn north to go home into our town, which would be the foothills of the Adirondacks. And they're standing by a stop sign, almost as tall as the stop sign, is this canine-like creature that looked very similar to Anubis. Pointed ears, shorter muzzle, just very odd shape. Didn't look like it belonged on this planet. I remember that, like that key statement will stick with me forever, because I remember saying, what the fuck is that? And it doesn't belong. Because Bigfoot looks like it belongs here. You know what I mean? And so we leave. We come back next day, me and my friend Martin, and we were looking around. We were looking for tracks, and the foreman of the area says, "Hey, what the fuck are you guys doing? People have been stealing wood." And we just said, "Hey, we're looking for his dog, you know?" And he said, "That's weird, because the night before, the same night we were there, while we were packing up, we heard dogs fighting in the back," which was strange. So the driver of the car, Gabe, he just blew us off. He stopped talking to us for years. And it was weird, because we were like, what the hell? You know, like, 1 minute you're here, the next you're gone. Like, what did we do? I run into him at Lowe's, and I'm like, "Hey, what's up? How have you been? Da da da." And you know, I said, "Do you remember that night?" And he said, "Yeah, I remember that night." And I said, "What happened?" I'm like, "Why did you ditch us? Like, what?" And he said that when he was playing with the radio, he saw something right before the girls jumped in the car and these screeching noises happened. He saw two of these creatures that we saw by the stop sign, but they were walking across the road quadruped into the woods. And that fucked him up. Like, he just didn't want any part of anything. And that's why he stopped hanging out with us. Oh yeah, no cap. I think there was like a bunch out there, definitely. What's up, Jordy? How are you? When I type in a word, why does this app misspell the words? Matt Mason, I think, okay, so here's why. Hey Jesse, good, how are you? Here's why you say, why so many dogmen in the States? Is it's not. There's dogmen all around the world. We just hear about them more here because that's where we live. If we all changed our VPNs and we had friends that lived abroad or in Europe, I have a folder in my filing cabinet like this thick of worldwide encounters. We just hear about the ones in America more often. So, what's up, Hunter 1014? How are you? Where's my uncle's a historian on our culture, and I know mythology a bit about our story. Craig, holy shit, bro. Thank you so much. Craig gifted 10 people freaking membership. Thank you, Craig. Salute. Wow. Respect, my brother. Caden, if you send me your email, I'll send you a skateboard. Yeah, me too, Dina. Me too. Jeff, hey, everyone in the chat. I hope everyone has a beautiful Easter too. Elizabeth Snow. Where can I find Dogman in Ontario, Canada? Well, right now I think you got a Dogman that's in Bancroft actually right now. Kat, thank you so much. Thank you. Happy Easter. Happy Easter to all y'all. Lake Superior girl got gifted. Gen X 1776. I like that name. Interesting. People do extreme things to maintain their concept of reality. It's a shame your friend shunned you guys. Yeah, it was. It was. He just didn't, he's that was a Diet Coke burp. Sorry, guys. His nickname was Egon. because he looked like Egon from the original Ghostbusters. And he was just this really like, he wasn't a goody good because he smoked weed and drank and shit. But he was just, you know what I mean? Like he avoided these subjects. He avoided talking about or learning about like Aleister Crowley or talking about Bigfoot, 411, this, and that. You know, he just avoided it all. You know what I mean? Thanks, Sherry. Or Sherry. Shari. Web surfer guy. What up? Can dogmen communicate with humans? Yeah, I do believe so. Matt Mason, for some reason in the wilderness. No, mountain regions, places of water, pockets of like watersheds and such. What happened to Victor? Well, last I knew, his kidneys failed. And his kidney, that's why I said it, Firehorse. That's why I said it. I said it right for you that way. I was literally thinking about you when I said it. So I believe he was poisoned because he was on the channel sharing stuff and his kidneys failed. I like 411s too, Alec Bikesham, especially the Tom Mezek one. Because it happened in my neck of the woods, so I'm obsessed with her. I got kicked out of the chat. Dennis, you didn't get kicked out. I don't know. Maybe you. Who kicked Dennis out of the chat? I didn't kick you out of the chat, brother. Maybe you got bumped out for some reason. I don't know, but I didn't bump you out, bro. Doug Osborne, I'd have to disagree with you on that. He's a great researcher, but that's about it. My uncle was the undersheriff on that case of the Tom Mezek case, and met him face to face or personally, and well. All right. I have literally never heard of black-eyed kids before this night in May 2023. After taking my girl out for the night, where she had a bit too much to drink, after holding her hair, she doesn't usually let loose like this. We know alcohol can lower our vibrations. Anyway, I was hopped up on caffeine from being the designated driver. So after I tucked her in, I went for a drive. Not 2 blocks from my house in Henrico County, Virginia, I saw a little kid, maybe 10 years old, a boy on the side of the road in a black hoodie. He waved, and I slowed down to see if he was okay. Before I rolled my window down, I had a bad feeling of dread. The kid looked up and had pale skin, empty eyes, so black and void. I didn't stick around. I sped off and went home. I was freaked out. Then my dog started to growl. He was staring at the door. I didn't look out, but I felt an unexplainable dread, so I prayed the Lord's Prayer and my dog stopped growling. I then Googled kids with black eyes and went down the rabbit hole. The sighting happened at 1:10 a.m. approximately in the lakeside area of Henrico, Virginia, near Richmond. I am so freaked out that I've not slept very well after that incident. Also, the kid grinned, but something about that grin was off. Didn't speak to him or it. That's weird because I have a lot of experiences in the Henrico area of Dogman, and there is actually a lot of people that have gone missing in that area too. No kidding, Gravity. Like what was it, 2 years ago? For those guys that have been with me for a while, you'll remember this when I went down that fucking rabbit hole of Okay, this is the coolest thing that's ever happened to the channel. All right, here, I'm just going to talk about it really quick because I want to. So, Richard Timothy Honecker disappeared in 2020, right? In 2021, they find his body in a drainage ditch or a drainage tunnel. Mind you, during that period of time that he disappeared, they had searched that area. They had actually searched that drainage tunnel. A year later, they find his body torn apart, like fucking ripped apart. And all throughout this time in Tazewell, Buchanan, Virginia, which borders Mercer, West Virginia, there had been at least 15 missing people and dead people, or people killed mysteriously. So I call Tazewell County Sheriff Department and I get fucking Gomer Pyle on the phone. And I recorded it. You guys remember this because I'm sure Janie will remember and Liz will remember. And I said, "Hi, I'm an independent journalist. I'm calling about the Richard Timothy Honecker body. Can you tell me a little bit more about the body? Or can you tell me more about the body that was discovered in the tunnel?" And he goes, "Which one?" Now, mind you, the news only told us about one body, but he let it go that there were 2 bodies found in that tunnel that day. And I was like, holy shit. Okay, Gomer Pyle just fucked up. And then, like, I called the Virginia State Police public liaison officer, right? And I said, "Hi, I'm Jeff Nadolny, independent journalist. Can you tell me what's going on in Tazewell in Buchanan, Virginia with all these missing people?" And she goes, "I'm not," and I have that recorded too, "I'm not aware of it." "What do you mean? We just found Richard Timothy Honecker. Is that what you're talking about?" And I'm like, "No, there's like 10 people that have gone missing and have been found torn apart in caves." And she's like, "I'm not aware of that." Yet she's the fucking state police liaison. Shouldn't she know about that? Yes. A week later, they send the state police down there and they shut the whole town down to search these caves on 4-wheelers. And it was crazy. Are you sure you didn't speak to Officer Farva? I don't know who that is, no cat bussin'. Who's Officer Farva? Thoughts on CERN starting up again around the eclipse? They did start up. They're actually going on right now. They've been, Super Troopers. Oh, I don't watch movies. Yeah, I've noticed that sometimes, RH. CERN has started, I know they are creating a smaller Hadron Collider. But I've been reading like bits and pieces of things that they are they've been starting up recently. Susie, I have no idea why. I apologize. It's nothing I've done, and it's nothing that I can fix, to be honest with you. I wish I could, because I it's weird. A couple times, Matt, but nothing really major to where I'd want to stop. I'll check it out, Charlie Knight. I've been. Oh, that's crazy, Gravity. I've been followed by a government van, which, if you're familiar with, like, if you had any clue of where I live, it's Glens Falls, New York. It's like the most podunkest town in upstate New York. Literally, we have a sign that says, "The foothills of the Adirondacks welcome." You know, like, Glens Falls was voted by Time Life magazine in like the 50s hometown USA. Like, it is literally a podunk little town. The government doesn't have vans around here. And one day, me and my daughter Isabel were followed by a van. And I pulled over, and got behind it and followed that. And then they took off and I continued to go. I've received some strange emails, which are in the community section from CIA.gov, and people cannot create a .gov email address without proper jurisdiction and whatever permission, and especially with those 3 letters added to it. So that's about it. Brian Cook, what's going on, brother? CERN is scary. CERN is very scary. One thing I want to say is I hope everybody tomorrow or today has a great Easter. I hope that you guys all spend it with your family or friends and just really have a good time without any stress and with just fucking kindness all around you. Thank you, Shari. Shari. I will be careful just in case, I promise. All right, how about a Dogman encounter? I'm wondering if anyone else has had or heard of sightings in the same area of southern Indiana. What I saw was an animal, not a shapeshifter. I know the beast is often called a werewolf, but I don't buy that explanation. My sighting happened in 1995. I only lived in an area during that time. I was coming home late at around 1 or 2 in the morning. The sighting happened on State Line Road, just off of Route 50 in southern Indiana/Ohio, right by Hidden Valley Lake. You can see it on Google Maps that the area is still pretty wooded. Even 25 years later, the usual caveats apply. I had not been drinking and I was not on drugs. I had just turned onto State Line Road from Route 50, and I saw a large animal in the in the road. It looked like a huge dog hunched over roadkill. As I neared it, I began to suspect it was one of my neighbor's dogs. He had 2 Irish wolfhounds. If you don't know, those are huge dogs that stand about 3 feet at the shoulders. I assumed one had gotten out. By this time, I had slowed down because the animal didn't seem to be aware of my car, and I was 30 yards away. I was starting to plan how I was going to get this dog that big into my car so I could drive it home, and also wondering if wolfhounds are typically dangerous. I was also trying to figure out if I should wake my neighbors up or just tie his dog up outside or something. As my mind raced through these thoughts, this all happened in just a few seconds. The creature finally turned and looked at my car, so I stopped the car completely. Its face looked more like a shape of a police dog than a wolfhound. That threw me. I remember wondering why my neighbor's dog looked so strange. And then the animal simply stood on its hind legs and calmly walked off to the west into tall grass off the road. My mind at this point is still trying to reconcile how this was my neighbor's wolfhound. I literally thought he had trained his dogs to walk on its hind legs and never told us. Then it started to sink in. The shape of its head was wrong, the build of the dog was too muscular, and it walked like a human, not a circus dog. My mind looped back to that. Of course, it walked off like a human on 2 legs, and its gaze lingered on me as if its attitude was telling me I didn't have to move, you know. The fur was long and shaggy and gray, although in the darkness I could have misjudged the color and my mind filled in the blanks. I was expecting to see from my neighbor's wolfhound. I watched it walk still casually until it was swallowed by the shadows in the trees. I was terrified to drive the rest of the way home. I never mentioned this to anyone, but in the morning, I asked my mom if the neighbor's dogs got out, and she said, why? I wanted to know. I just said I thought I saw one, but both dogs were accounted for, and neither have been out. Then, 10 years later, I heard Linda Godfrey on Coast to Coast talk about the Beast of Bray Road, and I was like, that's exactly what I saw. It was even the same period as the original Bray Road flap. With that confirmation, I finally started to tell people about what I saw. And, of course, no one believed me that I knew. So that's my experience. Is it time? Is it time, guys? Caden, fucking cheeseburger. Gravity fucking cheeseburger loves when you swear. She fucking loves it. Swear to God. Is it time? It is time. That was fucking gross. Ah. $20 is $20. Puma Pete, it's not a Jew horn. Stop calling it a Jew horn. Dude, that car had their window down. Did you see the car? They slowed down. They're like, what the fuck? He probably dropped a fucking deuce in his drawers. He's like, oh, yeah. GM, various paranormal experience increase over the last 3 years. I think paranormal hasn't increased. I just think with the internet and its expanding, ever expanding people, I think more people are sharing more, you know? I have watched literally everything on the Conjuring House, the original Conjuring House in Rhode Island. And what my daughter and I caught, I have never seen anyone catch that good of footage at the Conjuring House than what we caught with the SLS camera about the crooked neck lady. Thanks, Wayne. And I don't know if you guys have seen the video that I did with the Conjuring House. What do you think? Oh, I do have an Aztec death whistle just in case. I just can't blow it because it scares the shit out of my cat. Jacob Hillard, I'm going to put my email address in right now. My email address is under Claim Your Destiny and above Rock and Steady with my email address. Robert Sharp was in here earlier. I've never seen any pictures of Rascal. He doesn't have any. If you listen to his experience, he explains why he doesn't. do domes make structures, and are they bad? I don't know, Dana Hill, to be honest. We're going to scare those kids. There's kids out. We're going to scare them. Let's scare the kids. Oh, shit. Did you hear them? They barked back. They're good little kids. No, kids in Glens Falls won't shoot you. They're good kids up here. They probably are black-eyed kids. Or they're bright red-eyed kids from fucking smoking weed. So, about 8 months ago, on a Saturday night, after listening to Jeff Nadolny's Saturday Nightmares, no, I'm just kidding, I was at my girlfriend's house. She has a fairly decent-sized backyard, partially open and surrounded by dense woods. Keep in mind that Michigan, the state that I live in, has some pretty large forests. There are 2 fire pits in her backyard, one not in the woods and the other in a little clearing in the woods. I went to get some firewood from the clearing in the woods to bring it to the second pit. And as I'm collecting, I looked up and saw 2 eyes staring down at me. I stand up straight, and this thing is literally eye to eye with me. I'm 6'7", and just standing completely still. For a few seconds, I look. I can only see a thin form of a body. I haul ass back to the fire pit, and my girlfriend can tell that I'm clearly panicked. She asks me what's wrong, and I tell her concisely what just occurred. She seems iffy, doesn't believe in paranormal, but is inclined to believe me. She convinces me to sit with her by the fire and that it's probably just a large animal. 25 minutes later, the fire's dying down, and suddenly an adult male scream pierces through the air, and it sounds like it came from the forest. We haul ass, leaving the fire smoldering, and stay inside the rest of the night. Nothing else occurs. Her dad, hypnotized, hypothesized that it was most likely a deer. He was out of town at the time. It doesn't sound like a fucking deer to me. Deers don't get 6'7". I don't care where you live. Yeah, where is Neck? I haven't seen Neck all night. Let's see. Have any of you guys are you guys still buying silver and gold? Is anyone still buying silver and gold? Crypto? Only crypto I buy is I have I bought Dogecoin back in 2020, and I had bought in almost 10,000 shares of Dogecoin back then at like 0.0003% or cents. So like less than pennies. And it just skyrocketed to like 22 cents the other day. And I looked at my account and I was like, holy shit. Junk silver is good. Any silver is good. Silver is great. I love silver. I think I have I think the last time I checked my my Dogecoin account, it was like something like close to $1,000, like $1,200. It was weird though, because my buddy's like, buy Dogecoin, bro. He goes, it's gonna go up, and I'm like, it's like less than a fucking penny. I think I bought I only spent like $20 back then. I've been here and the whole time, Jeff, your pic was frozen. I couldn't hear or make a comment. That is weird, Josh. That is weird. Aloha, Josh. I got a vampire encounter. You guys want to have a vampire encounter? I got one. I've got me a vampire encounter. Hang on. Oh. No, I don't smoke. Just in case. I've been sober for coming up on 8 years in April 24th. I was seriously addicted to opiate pain medication and heroin for the good part of 30 years. So no, I don't do anything. Two kids walking. I think I scared them. I think I heard them fart. They're like, all right. Oh, God damn it. There we go. Had to adjust the old nut sack. I was with my friends at a party. Everything was okay and boring for me because I don't drink alcohol. I have stomach problems. Nevertheless, we had fun, left the party early, and went to a friend's house to chill. After a couple of minutes, I heard some of my friends come in and join us. Several hours passed, and I wanted to leave for home because it was getting pretty late. Some friends of his decided to take me home in a car, and before we reached the car, we saw several men out in front of the car, many of whom looked drunk, but I wasn't expecting any kind of trouble. As I walked past the car to get to the back seat, waiting for the owner to let me in, a man approached from that group and told him to get inside of the house because he was needed by someone. It appeared to me that the owner knew this guy because he did exactly that without opening the car or telling me anything. I just stood there for a couple of seconds, then decided to walk back to the house to see if he was still willing to take me home or if I should find my own way. I had my driver's license suspended due to an accident a few years ago. I went into the house and said goodbye again to some friends while I was thinking of my journey home because the public transport at that hour didn't run. I live in Eastern Europe, by the way. I don't know if the United States public transport system differs, but at the same time, a man who was outside apparently walked into the house with two more guys and caught my attention. He had medium brown, darkish hair, slim, with loose clothes. Very common looking, actually, but that wasn't the thing that caught my attention. When he entered the house, I just had a strong feeling coming from him that I can't describe that well. He looked at me. He had dark brown, glassy eyes. I didn't say a thing, but then he started to move around. Even the two guys that went with him, and that's when I realized his movements were unnatural. It seemed like he was going backward. His arms were behind his body as he moved. The feeling I had was not fear, though. Like you would be scared of unknown, like ghosts, demons, the dark, a horror movie, etc. This was a feeling I had a few times when someone died or saw something very graphic and gore related. I swear I could feel it in my brain. It was the same feeling I had when I watched someone years ago fall off the stairs with blood running from their ears. It was not fear, but like a brain rewiring itself. He looked at me intensely, which seemed at the time a very long period, and I couldn't move. I now remember opening my mouth halfway and just staring back, eyes wide open, and fixated my vision on him, but didn't want to make contact with his eyes. Subconsciously, I think I told myself not to look for some reason. He never spoke a word, and no one else engaged with him. He went straight for the door after making his rounds inside the house, and for a second, he stood under the door entrance and turned his head again to look at me. He was pale white and, in a way, invoked the same feeling in me as before. He left. I tried gathering myself, trying to convince myself that nothing was wrong. I left my friend's house for home at this time. I forgot about the whole thing while outside. It was freezing. I was walking in the snow, feeling sleepy and tired, until I saw him again near a closed travel agency building. He was ahead of me, leaning against the glass window. He didn't seem to notice me, but I knew then that it was him. I switched sides on the sidewalk to get some distance, and with one eye looking over in his direction, he noticed me halfway and smiled. I couldn't see his face better because of the snow in the distance, but I noticed his mouth was deep red, almost bloody. I picked up the pace, worrying that he might follow me, but he stood his ground. Shortly after, I was out of range on my way home. I tend to smoke a lot. I had this irrational fear when I got home and lit up a cigarette with my window open and someone might come in. I was thinking him specifically. Though I live in an apartment on the 15th floor, nothing happened, of course, and I fell asleep. While writing this out for you, I remember vividly the same feeling I had when I encountered this man, and I can't shake it. Somehow, I get the mental image and visualize this man as I did back then. Somehow not human, and yet human enough not to be afraid in a way I would be of the deep supernatural. I guess only one word comes to mind when I think of him: vampire, though strangely enough. It's not from any book of fiction or myth I know of. I keep sending him like that or seeing him like that. I don't know why. I could tell myself that this is nothing out of the ordinary, but the experience and feelings I went through were anything but ordinary. I have to keep that in my mind. I can't ignore them, and subconsciously, I gave them credence. So I think he saw a vampire. I.E. Native, how are you? Welcome tonight. What needs to happen, Andy Davis? I'm doing well, Candy Wolf. How about you? Camping trip? I'd like to, I'd love to go on coast to coast. I saw you guys talking about coast to coast. I would love to be on coast to coast just once. RH, I've got an interesting story I'll share in a second that resembles what you just saw. That'd be like that's the one thing that I would love to do. Like, is just sit on coast to coast and talk to whoever runs it now about like my theories and ideas on these animal attacks and stuff. Raheem Sato, how are you, my brother? Glad that you're here with us, Candy. Thank you for joining us. So, yeah, what happened to Dale? Anyway, RH, you had mentioned like a 3-foot web surfer guy. I honestly would be careful about using bear spray on a Dogman. I wouldn't trust it, to be honest with you. That's just my theory. I wouldn't trust it. So RH mentioned a 3-foot bluish green something. So if you guys remember the video that I did where the Ouija board experience when I was a kid, and I brought you guys to that barn, my family's farm that is now defunct. It's abandoned. It's an abandoned farm. And I went in there. So my great uncle, who grew up on that farm, he died at the age of like 92. So this would have been like early 1900s when he saw this. So he said that he was walking from the barn road from his house to the barn, and it was called Barn Road. And he had noticed this glow. And he was like, what the hell is that? At first, because there wasn't like at that time on the farm, there was no electricity when he was young. Because it was the early 1900s. So he's like, what is that glow? Is someone down there with like a torch or a lantern? He gets around the corner and he sees this humanoid running through the field, the hay field, going towards the woods. And he was like scared. He was probably 15, 16 at the time. And he kept telling us like we called it the little blue man because my cousin Mel, the one who died that was with me during the Ouija board experience, he had seen it too. So one night, the last time my great uncle saw this thing, he was in the hayloft, and not the same hayloft that I saw, what I saw, but in the old hayloft that is no longer part of the barn. It's gone now. But he said he was up there and he was getting hay because at the time when he was younger, there was horses there. He was throwing down hay for the horses, and he had turned a corner to get like a bag of oats or whatever. And he came face to face with this thing, this blue man. And he said he was taller than it, but it was like 3 feet tall. And it stared at him. It stared up at him, and it was glowing. He said that he didn't see any balls or wiener, that it didn't appear to have clothes on it. It was just like genderless, like just it didn't have breasts. It didn't have any kind of nut sack, but glowing blue. And he said that when they stared at each other, he got this like really cold feeling, and the thing backed up a little bit and then ran through the hayloft out to the other side and jumped into this area into the field, and that was the last time he saw it. My cousin ended up seeing this thing. One night we were in the garage and we were throwing soap bars at each other. Don't ask me where we got soap bars from, but we were like whipping soap bars at each other, and someone had hit the window of the garage, and he went to look at how bad it was broken because we were going to get our asses chewed out. And my cousin looked out the window, and the fucking blue man was standing right there looking at him. Tabitha, happy Easter to you. Stay blessed. Yeah, maybe, Ricardo. He's kind of like a joker to me, Ricardo. He's the one that talks about $20 is $20 and copies me. Is the Glimmer Man really a thing? Yes, Charlie Knight. There's been too many people that have seen them. Can Dogman cloak? From what I heard, yes, 100%. I had a subscriber from Scotland share that. No, I don't think Texas will become its own its own country. Hey, Teresa, how are you? Yeah, I just heard that, Ricardo, the other day, I guess. Sonia, that's funny. And he had like made the Mike Patton comment about how and why he says it. And I've been saying it for like a year now, maybe even longer. Craig, anyone here from Southwestern Ohio? No, I'm not, but I wish I was. No, I'm just kidding. Southwestern Ohio. That's close to Virginia, right? Probably. RuPaul is a glimmer man. Fucking Larry Lindman. If black-eyed kids showed up at my door, I'm telling them nobody's home. What's up, Wilburn? Wilburn! Good old Wilburn. Every time I see Wilburn's name, I'm like, I think of Theo Vaughn saying Wilburn. What's up, Wilburn? Yeah, Tyler, if she don't give you $20, it's $20. It's time to go. Tammy Outquest. What's the diff? Okay, so Tammy asked, what is the difference between a dogman and a werewolf? Okay, a dogman has hocked legs and a tail with a long snout, like a German Shepherd. It's narrower. And then what we call here on this channel a werewolf, they don't shapeshift, but it has human-like legs, no tail, a shorter snout, is as big as a Sasquatch, maybe not as big, but pretty close, smarter than a dogman. And that's about it. I try to be fun to hang out with. Dina, I try. I don't know. I don't have friends. So, Rum Runner. Robert Sharp is more than likely not in the comment section right now because it's a little later than normal. But he explained why there are no pictures of Rascal in his uploads. So I'm not going to ask him, hey, can I get a Polaroid of Rascal when he specifically told us why there is none? I do have you guys, but I mean, I don't have people outside of here. You know what I mean? Like I have you guys. You guys are my friends and family. You guys are all that. Besides Isabel and Abigail and my mom and dad, you guys are all I have. You're all that I have. And I don't need anything. I don't need any more. I don't need shit. I got you guys. I got Wilburn. Wilburn. Fucking Wilburn. Why do I? There we go. I got him knocked down now, boy. I don't either. You know, I just love hanging out here with you guys. I'd rather hang out with you guys than people out there. People out there scare me. You guys think like I think, at least. They don't think like I think. I don't know what they're thinking. I love you too, Gigi. Gravity fucking cheeseburger. I'm gonna be like Ozzy Osbourne. I love you all, Sharon. Rockin' steady, then don't go. You know, Caden, I was hoping with the TRT they'd fucking shrink up, but no. What's up, Corey D? Jeff, are the black-eyed kids afraid of Michael Jackson? Dude, I bet you the black-eyed kids are afraid of Michael Jackson. He'd get buck wild on those little asses. Speaking of, have you guys seen the video that news? What was it? I think it was Dateline or some news agency went into Neverland and they were filming and they shot like this video down this long corridor, and they supposedly the ghost of Michael Jackson went across the screen. Have you guys ever seen that? Being a single dad is the greatest thing on earth, to be honest with you. That was if not one of the best catches of Paranormal Activity, I think definitely the best. Diddy's going down, baby. You know what's even better is Jay-Z and Beyonce are going down. You know, like I hated the fact that, what was it, like 15 years ago, 15 years ago, people were like, they're in the Illuminati. They're in the Illuminati. Do you really think the Illuminati would let Jay-Z and Beyonce in their organization? No. They were like scapegoats for the Illuminati. They aren't real Illuminati. They're fake Illuminati. I'd like to claim your destiny. Oh yeah, there's a lot of people. I think there's going to be a bigger kind of, okay, this is when you know shit's fucked up, okay? So Jeffrey Epstein's diary or books came out, right? And how many people went to prison? No one except him, right? Diddy gets busted and they got all his paperwork. How many people do you think are going to go to jail on that one? I bet you more people go to jail on the Diddy case than Epstein. Epstein was realistically in the Illuminati, I bet you. More so than Jay-Z, Beyonce, Diddy. They were in their own Illuminati. They were in the, like, I don't even know. But I guarantee more people are going to go to jail because of Diddy's raids on that house than Epstein. Yeah, they did, Luke Neely. Yeah, they did. 100%. I agree. Yeah, there's something wrong with Beyonce. Jay-Z's disappeared already. Like, the Illuminati endgame, well, Charles Schwab or Charlie Schwab already told us, you are going to have nothing and you're going to like it, except you're going to sit on your balls all the time. I hope, Oprah, wow. Michelle, I never thought about that. Yes, that would be wonderful if Oprah went to jail. That would be super wonderful. Can you talk to me like Diddy, rockin' steady, Diddy got busted for a pedophile ring. He went like this to Justin Bieber, and Justin Bieber went, like he was at the Sharing Stone. Yeah, brother. Yeah. Because at that point in time, Diddy had physical custody of Justin Bieber because he took him from Usher. And at one time, Diddy did bad Diddy stuff to Usher's booter hole. And Lizzo's just laying back, waiting for him to come in. I hate when that happens. Me too. Me too. All at once. Yes. Pics of LeBron? I bet LeBron does look like a weird dude. He looks like he's into that weird shit. Like, he's like, he smells stuff. And it's not stuff that normal people want to smell, you know? He smells his finger after he's done hanging out with Justin Bieber. Caden, have a good night, my friend. Love you. Happy Easter. The ninth circle of Baphomet's booter hole. Have you ever been camping in the woods alone? Yes. Have you? If you go camping with a friend, though, and you wake up with Vaseline on your butt, you better tell people because he's going to ask you to go camping more than once. Yeah, I tell you what, I've been camping a couple of times in the Adirondacks. We have trail systems that have lean-tos that have been in the woods since like 1950s. I've been camping up there a couple times by myself. Okay, this is a good one. This happened 4 years ago when myself and two of my partners, now, referred to as K and W, decided to visit a 150-year-old graveyard at night. This occurred in Rochester, New York, Mount Hope Cemetery. Now, I'm a sensitive, empath, indigo, whatever. W and K are blocked off energy-wise. Okay, that's a little weird now. The walk in the cemetery was dark and peaceful at first. We wandered a while and read some stones, and eventually, at the crossroads, Kay noticed something and walked off. He came back and whispered, "There's someone over there. I'm going to go check it out." The moment he walked away again, I felt my eyes watching him from everywhere and an overwhelming primal sense of fear. I froze, and W strained to see what Kay was looking at. About 7 or 8 minutes later, Kay came back and was spooked. He told me that there was a stone white figure darting through the trees. I was asked if I wanted to leave, and I said no. So we stayed and wandered around a little bit more. After a little longer, we came across a marble mausoleum, the door of which was made of glass and you could see through it. Getting closer set me off. Everything felt wrong and dread was back. There was an extremely prickly feeling all over my skin. Kay touched the door and I felt it too. Both Kay and myself saw a shadow moving around inside the mausoleum as we stood there. And the moment he touched the door, the shadow disappeared. We ran, eventually finding a place to sit for a moment. I was completely overwhelmed and continued to feel like we were being watched. Kay was really freaked out, getting dizzy and very quiet. He seemed really off, like he had seen something I hadn't. I was asked again if I wanted to leave, and this time I said yes. We left, and the whole walk home I felt dread, that inhuman primal fear. Once we got home, W immediately fell asleep on the couch while Kay and I began to panic. Both of us felt extremely dizzy and weak. And then we heard knocking. It started softly, only 3. As time went on, it got more and more and frantic sounding, but not much harder. We couldn't shake the feeling of dread for a good 30 minutes. When that dread feeling left, we felt immediately drained mentally and physically and decided on going upstairs and attempting to get some sleep. We assured each other that we would not open the door, thus we were safe. At some point, watching TV and trying to calm down, I got overheated and Kay opened the door to the upstairs patio and turned the fan on. That was another thing we did wrong. Guys, I keep seeing something off to my side every once in a while. That seems another thing we did wrong. Around 3:20 a.m., Kay woke up. He remembers only being able to move his head. The door had opened on its own halfway, and a child with black eyes who looked to be about 12 with extremely messy, shortish hair and face covered by a shadow was standing there staring at him. He remembers the most intense terror he has ever felt, so much so that it physically hurt. He shut his eyes and held them closed until terror passed and he fell back to sleep. Now, the house has already been haunted, a different story for a different time, but the activity has been kicked up a bit. The cat goes nuts. Since then, both myself and Kay have been depressed and have major anxiety. I can barely sleep at night, neither can Kay. There has been a constant dull ringing in my ears, occasional dread, so bad it hurts. We'll take over Kay for 20 or 30 minutes. I've been having random pains in various parts of my abdomen. TVs, radios, and lights turn on and off by themselves, and we are both constantly feeling like we are being watched. That's scary. I don't like that one. I don't like that. I don't care, man. That's scary. Alan Howell. Okay, I keep literally when I'm reading something, I keep seeing something right here, like in this area. Like I'll be looking down and I'll be like this, and right here in this part of the screen, so like where my finger is pointing on my screen, right over here, right here, I keep seeing something there. I can't get the voice box. The voice box is the spirit box is downstairs. But we'll do this. Okay, so you guys can see, so you know I'm not doing it. Is there anything in this room with me? Cross these rods. If you are here and you mean me harm, uncross them. Do you mean me harm? Yes or no? Yes, keep that crossed. No, uncross them. Okay. Are you here with good intentions? Cross them. Are you here with bad intentions? Cross them. Are you just here? Okay, I'm done. It's okay, little fella. All right, so next time I read something, keep an eye on this part of the screen right here above the computer. Because it's weird, because I keep catching stuff. Alan, I really thought I was seeing shit too, man. I literally would go downstairs. Next week, I will have my ghost box up here, all my ghost hunting equipment. Kat, I'm glad it got fixed. I'm glad you're here with us. Ask if it's a child. Okay. You know, there was an autistic child that died in this house. Interesting with the rods in your apparent roommate. I don't have a roommate. I have a daughter. It's just me and my daughter that live in this house. Okay. If you are here with me right now, can you, if you are a child, please cross these dowsing rods. Okay. Are you happy to be here? If you're happy, cross them If you're not happy that you're here, make it wider. Are you a boy? If you are a boy, cross them. Okay, I'm done. At least it's not a dog, man. Fucking ain't right. All right, here we go. Keep an eye on that section. I was born in Alabama, and for the past 30 years, I've lived in several rural communities outside of Birmingham. I spent most of my childhood roaming and exploring the woods and mountains. Although I've never flat out seen a Bigfoot, I've had things happen that I look back now and it makes me wonder. I say now because of an incident that happened to me right at the end of last winter. I had bought a new 22 Browning pistol, and this was going out just about every night deep into the woods to shoot beer bottles that littered the trails. There are two main trails. One was an access road that ran alongside the interstate for putting up, taking down, or just maintaining the billboards, and the other was a real long trail that led to a clear foundation and parking lot. That in and of itself is very odd to me because of how remote it was, but given all the spent shells in the area, I assumed that it was probably an old lodge or hunting club that was torn down. On nights leading up to what happened, I had killed two hare and a deer for sport. Shame on me, I know I had seen countless more. The remains would always be gone the following night, which I attribute to coyote or other wild animal. Even though I found it a bit strange for an entire deer carcass to disappear without a trace overnight, well, one evening I got the feeling that I was being watched. I looked in the direction from which I thought I was being watched, and all I saw was what looked like two orange security lights side by side off in the distance. So I kept walking. After only a few steps, I could hear leaves crunching 30 to 40 yards off the trail and up the hillside, pacing me in the same area where I felt the gaze. When I looked back in that direction, the two street lights I had seen were now clearly red glowing eyes staring at me. I could now see a branch directly above the eyes, which gave me something to tell how close or far away it was, and that it looked to be about 3.5 to 4 feet tall. I assumed that it was just a deer, but couldn't figure out how the eyes were reflecting with no light source. When I pointed my flashlight away, or why I could see both eyes simultaneously when you typically see one or another at times, since deer eyes are on each side of their heads. I started up the trail after the animal, being sure to keep an eye on it. When I turned to look a few steps, it was gone. No gallops or leaves crunching or fading away. Just a few brisk steps, then nothing. When I walked up the hill to where whatever it was had been standing, I saw the branch that looked to be about 3 to 4 feet off the ground from where I was standing was closer to 11 to 12 off the ground. After analyzing the surroundings and that event at length, I was left scratching my head because whatever I had seen was either an optical illusion, which I couldn't account for, or a beast I only caught a glimpse of standing no less than 8 feet tall with red eyes. I've always been the type to disregard any Bigfoot stories up until this point, but when it happens to you personally, it's a whole different story. There was no odor associated with it, which I know often accompanies these kind of sightings. All right. Thank you, Alan. You have my email. Tell me if you see anything. What's up, Chris? How are you? How are you? Happy Easter, hard to see you. Whew, it's getting hot in here. $20, $20. Why do basements and that's a good question, Spirit, or good question, web surf guy. Why do basements and attics seem to have spirits in them? I'd have to say probably because of the isolation and just the fact basements, I think, yeah, I'd say the isolation, away from humans, away from people. Like when Isabel and I went to the Conjuring house and we were in the basement, I would say that was probably the scariest part of the whole trip was the basement. The second floor was pretty scary, but Isabel had seen something on the second floor that freaked her out and made her want to go outside to get some fresh air. So I don't know. That's a good question, though. Libra Poet, what's up? How are you, dearie? Happy Easter. Yes, the Conjuring house is in Rhode Island. Yes. Yep. Yep. She got headaches. She got terrible headaches. She wanted to go outside immediately. You can see her when we're upstairs and she's using the dowsing rods. Actually, the one thing that made her get the headache was when she put the blindfold on and had the spirit box so she couldn't see anything or hear anything except what the spirit box was communicating to her. That's when she got the worst headache of all. Dogman Junkie 1989. How are you? Thank you for joining us, my friend. Happy Easter. Here's something funny. James Kaufman just said this. Is it me or walking around a church at night creepy? So my friend Martin, the kid that was with me during my Dogman experience, I can't believe I'm going to share this fucking experience with you guys. Okay. Hang on, I got to weigh this out. Do I want to share this or not? Yeah, fuck it. So one night, Martin's family moved here from Czechoslovakia. His grandpa had lived here for like 10 or 15 years before his mom and dad and him and his brother moved here. So one night, or they were caretakers of a church. And it was not a Baptist church, a Methodist church. And so they had the parish house or whatever was right next to the church. And because Martin's dad and mom took care of the church, they cleaned up and they did everything, mowed the lawns and stuff. They were able to live in the house next door. Well, Martin's dad had a key there. And so one night, Martin and I, we brought our girlfriends into the church, and we went into the basement of the church, and we were hanging out down there, just hanging out. And one thing led to another, and we ended up switching girlfriends that night. So we come back up the stairs, and as we're coming up the stairs, Martin was leading us. He stops us and he goes, "Jeff, stop. And we all saw what we thought was his dad standing at the top of the stairs looking down at us, but no one was there. And we ended up going out the back door. So it was pretty creepy. Libra, I did a vampire story tonight, dearie. Yeah, that's Martin. Get in the fucking car, Jeff. I saw that. That vampire walked right by. He's like, $20. Yeah, so like it was weird because we saw it, like we all saw it. Like the girls saw it, I saw it, and it was just someone standing at the top of the stairs. And Martin's like, my dad, Wilburn! I don't know, web surf. But his dad wasn't there. It wasn't his dad. No, I never told that. Just because it's just something I never wanted to, like we were in a church having sex with our girlfriends. It's kind of disrespectful. So I never wanted to share it. Tyler Stevens' sister thinks he's watching porn. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did. Well, his dad, it wasn't his dad. That's the thing. That's the scariest part about the whole thing. It wasn't his dad. To Gila? Yeah, Gila would be cool. Not to be a jerk, though, Sonia. If you ever want to look up Gila, it's spelled with a G. Gila. If you ever want to look up some of those weird, because there's a lot of weird history in that area. It's really an interesting, like just a lot of the ancient Native Americans. So remember how I was talking about keywords? You guys, I do this all the time. I don't know if any of you guys do it, but every once in a while I'll look up like native culture or native lore in like a different state, and it'll actually bring like this. I forget the name of the website, but it'll bring up this website and it'll talk about each native tribe that lived in that area and what their like totem was, a bunch of historical stuff, and actually it'll bring up like some of their myths that they believed in too. Ugh. Tigger, he's buddy. I don't know. He got sick before the live stream, so he's probably not going to come in. Libra, I see your comments. What's up, Nikki Harrison? How are you? So, what's up, Ohio Hurricane? What do you guys have planned for tomorrow? Work. Fire horse. I'm sorry. Mr. Anderson, are you on the West Coast? Work tomorrow. Cook out on the grill. Hardith, yes, I did a bunch of Black Eyed Kids stories already. Yep. Are you Mr. Anderson, are you Salesh or Samish? West Coast, Vancouver Island. Oh shit, yeah. So what? You're Samish or Salesh? Because that's their totem is the Firebird or Thunderbird. Night, William. My best friend is Salesh. Okay. That's awesome. Firehorse, I know how to say it. My best friend is Salesh Native American. Jesus, you don't have to correct me on every fucking word I say. Now it's annoying. Now I'm going to feel bad. God damn it. I don't want to feel bad. Autistic Mim. Fuck you, Firehorse. I just ate Japanese ice cream. Oh, what's Japanese ice cream? Did I say that right, Firehorse? So do you live in Washington, Firehorse? Yeah. Wait, do you live on the res in Washington by outside of Seattle? Like that area? Isn't there a res out there? There's native land right there. Because if you do, you might know my friend. No, not in Seattle. What the fuck is that? Dude, get a muffler. No, not in Seattle. Hang on, let me get my phone. Let me text him. Sorry, guys, just waiting for. My friend's name's Zach. He's got YouTube channel too. Answer me, you prick. He'll answer me soon. Oh, fuck. Dude, did you hear that muffler? And he's driving it like it's got fucking power. Oh, Japanese ice cream. No fire horse. Nope. He's the guy that we did no, not wrong person. My friend Zach, his parents own a bunch of bars up there in Washington. But he ended up moving to Florida because of the bullshit in Washington State. Yeah, so Libra, Japanese ice cream. What about Japanese ice cream? I've had the Middle Eastern ice cream where they make it and it's like that. That shit's good. The Helltown thing, Helltown. I know Helltown. There's a town in Ohio called Helltown that like just got abandoned. But I'll look into that after tonight, Brian, when I'm done with the live, because I'm gonna end the live in a minute. All right, guys. Yeah, Cherokee lore is Cherokee lore is amazing. All right, so guys, happy Easter, first and foremost. I hope that all of you guys have a blessed day tomorrow. If you have to work, make the best of it. Have a great day tomorrow. Just remember that, it's a day meant for love and peace. Thank you for joining me tonight. And thank you for all of your prayers for my mom and me and my dad. I hope, honestly, and it's probably going to sound fucked up, but I really hope that he goes soon, because he's not getting any better, and it's too much for me and my mom to witness anymore. But I want to thank you all for all of your kindness to me. So with that being said, I love you guys. Thank you for another great Saturday live stream. Saturday Nightmares, baby. And stay happy. Okay? All right. I love you guys. I'll see you next week. Thank you once again. Firehorse, I was only kidding too. I was just busting your balls because you busted mine. Love ya.